Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're flying over Saudi Arabia, so if you excuse me, I want to check all the action down on the ground.
What's happening on the ground?
The Dakar. Hey guys, welcome back. Forget everything you knew about racing games. Forget about keeping your vehicle on the beaten path or going wild full speed across mountains with your shiny Lamborghini without sustaining damage whatsoever. In Dakar Desert Rally, you'll need to explore and find your way through the toughest terrain to survive and be victorious, even if you arrive in last. Just being able to cross the finish line is already a victory. Are you up to the challenge? The Dakar Rally is one of the toughest tests in motorsport, a rally raid that challenges participants with fully off-road multi-class endurance racing through some extreme and highly varied environments. The first event, then known as Paris-Dakar, took place all the way back in 1979, with the current home of the sport seeing you race through Saudi Arabia as the first stop on the FIM Rally Raid World Championship, each year picking a different starting point and winding through the country over more than a dozen stages on the way to the finish line. The event explores the country's diverse biomes, from desert to scrubland, steppes and mountain ranges, with distinct weather conditions from scorching sun to snow. Dakar Desert Rally offers an impressive lineup of vehicles to choose from: motorcycles, trucks, cars, quads and SSVs, both modern and classic, and you can start your own private collection of off-road vehicles and store them in a huge warehouse, so that you can pick one later and go out for a spin. As for now, there are over 150 vehicles included in the game, but future DLCs will bring even more to the table. Some of the most impressive vehicles present are the pre-order bonus Audi RSQ e-tron, complete with one pedal driving, and the two classics offered day one for those who purchased the deluxe edition of the game, the Peugeot 405 T16 and the Turbo Twin DAF truck. They can reach incredible speeds, what leads to spectacular accidents mainly because of their low maneuverability. With such variety comes potential drawbacks in terms of handling. Just like in Dakar 18, the game engine needs to simulate several unique vehicle types, so across the board, it feels that more could be done in this regard. The quads are probably the most difficult class of vehicles to handle, and the most rewarding to drive are the cars, with satisfying force feedback. As for the trucks, they feel heavy as they should, and the SSV is pretty light and fragile, but this is something that the development team will continue to refine during the following months after the release, mainly for those that rely and play exclusively with steering wheels. For now, and on that regard, I found that my trustworthy Xbox One controller is my best friend in Dakar Desert Rally. There are two ways to tackle this unique rally raid event. You can go for a full-on simulation that's about as niche and hyper-targeted as it gets, mainly in relation to the navigation. Or you can go arcade with visual overlays guiding you through the environments and head-to-head racing with other vehicles. After I booted the game for the first time and forced my way through the tutorial, I jumped right away to the professional side of things. I'm a huge fan of Dakar 18, so this was a piece of cake for me. And I wanted to quickly climb my way up to level 25 to unlock the full Dakar experience. But when I finally got there, after over 10 hours of grinding, not only on the professional but also sport modes, I was greeted by just 3 stages that supposedly composes the Dakar 2020 event. Soon enough I found out through the devs that the remaining 9 stages would be coming soon in an extended Saudi Arabia map via DLC. So in total, the 3 main Dakar events, 2020, 2021 and 2022, will offer 12 stages each. But bear in mind that these specific events are only and exclusively available in simulation mode, for hardcore Dakar fans that is. The only and extremely annoying thing about this mode is that we must keep yet another eye on the speedometer so that we won't go above 170 km per hour. For each time we cross that mark, 10 penalty seconds are added to the time we took to finish the stage. But I get it. Simulation mode is trying to replicate what drivers and pilots face during the real deal.
Between rocks.
For those unfamiliar with the Dakar, choosing sport mode can be a good way to rack up experience points and credits, which can be used to purchase other vehicles. This head-to-head format will allow the player to have fun, even if, as said, you're an inexperienced driver or navigator. The waypoints are visible from the distance. Just be sure to drive straight through them before you continue your journey.
Leave track.
When you're done with sport mode and more confident about tackling the professional side of the Dakar, it's a fact that it might feel a bit scary at first, and it can be difficult to drive with the pedal to the metal and follow the roadbook at the same time. But trust me, after a while you'll get used to listening to your navigator and finding the next waypoint. But keep in mind that you won't get a navigator on motorcycles and quads to sing all the notes from the roadbook. You're completely on your own. For that, I have a solution of sorts. You'll sometimes come across another competitor, and if you're too confused, just follow him for a while or just on those off-road sections. All in all, the professional mode provides a much more immersive experience and lifelike challenge that makes it more rewarding simply because it gives you a sense of accomplishment that you figured out the route to get there. So multiply that for 10 and you get the simulation mode. One thing is certain, if you aren't paying attention 100% of the time during a race, it's better to forget both Pro and Sim modes. You'll never make it to the finish line. Dakar Desert Rally is a very intense video game, even in its more casual and arcadish sport modes. And a couple of things that I truly enjoyed in this one, in relation to its older brother, was when we brake hard or slide the car. The sand will react accordingly and produce this beautiful effect. Not that of a deal for many, but for me it's a treat to the eyes. Also, I truly enjoy discovering that when we take the wrong turn, the navigator will show off all his skills and justify the paycheck he receives just by figuring out the way back to the correct path. Isn't that amazing? Yeah?
You must go to Cap 199.
There's a full damage model in place, with windows smashing, roof panels squashed, lights destroyed, what can make driving in the dark extremely difficult, and wheels detaching. Repairing during a stage is possible, but depending on the mode you're playing, the time to get the vehicle up and running will vary, adding that extra time after you cross the finish line. Not even mentioning the penalties you'll get for going above the speed limit in some sections, both on Pro and Sim modes.
Cap 154.
As for something that I would love to see fixed or implemented, is the fact that the dirt and dust collected during the races should be washed off when crossing all these small rivers and ponds. Also having water splashed all over the windshield, blinding us for a brief moment or until we turn on the wipers. Yes, we need to manually activate the wipers and the lights for that matter. I always pick Colin McRae Dirt 2 as the example to follow in that regard. A game from 2009 that has the most incredible water effects ever seen on a racing game until this day. Now, the feature that supposedly was returning from Dakar 18 was the ability to get out of the vehicle to help others and to get ourselves out of awkward situations like this one. That feature was teased a while back by the developer, but silently taken away in the last minute. Please, Saber, bring it back, please! That would probably also bring the many hazards of getting stuck in sand and mud again, just like in the previous game. Some Dakar fans were also apprehensive about a free roam mode not being available for Dakar Desert Rally that would allow players to freely explore the 20,000 square kilometers of the Saudi Arabian map and be able to take some photos with this impressive landscape in the background. Fear no more! All that is planned and coming in the future. Here's some features that were promised and truly coming, free of charge. A roadbook editor to create and share custom events. offline free roaming to freely explore the 20,000 square kilometers of Saudi Arabia, a team customization tool to create custom liveries for both pilots and rides, and both replay and photo modes to have the chance to capture some breathtaking moments. As you know, a Season Pass is also available not only for those who have purchased the Deluxe Edition, but also for all other players interested on buying a specific pack or DLC, and those are a SnowRunner pack that I hope it has something to do with rock crawling or similar activities, 2 classic vehicle packs, one for cars and the other for bikes, an hybrid vehicle pack, and a USA Tour pack that I'm guessing that it will be an entire new map of North America in where we can participate in events organized in the Grand Canyon area, getting some Motorstorm vibes and some Baja related content, who knows, that would be awesome. About the online, 4 players can go simultaneously head to head. The other slots are AI controlled bots. But for instance, if there are 3 human players already tackling a stage and a 4th one tries to enter the server, he can randomly take control of one of those AI bots, if the host gives permission, that is. And something I also learned from the devs is that a peculiar online co-op mode is in testing. It will offer the chance of teams to take part in online races, each composed by 1 driver and 1 navigator. The driver will only see his side of the car, never laying his eyes on the roadbook, and the navigator doing his part of singing all the notes and hazards so that they help each other finding the correct path to the finish line. Isn't this amazing? Also amazing is the chance to fly the helicopter after you finish an online race, so that you can follow the progression of the other drivers that are still down on the track and explore the surroundings while you're at it. What isn't that amazing is the fact that during my playtime I had 2 of these crashes that took me back to my desktop. Neither were during races, gladly. I'm playing the PC Steam version, by the way. And during the race after a crash, I've experienced this strange behavior, even losing completely the control over the vehicle, not even mentioning when, after another crash, metal is mangled and an awkward dance takes place. Patch 1.3 is coming that I believe will solve these issues and a ton of others that players are experiencing, not only on PC, but also on the PS5 and on the Xbox Series. Sound effects are a huge step up from the previous game, from environmental audio to engine noises, and I can also identify some bits brought from Dakar 18. Now about the soundtrack, I just think that it fits like a glove into the action on sport mode, and the pieces of music when we boot the game kind of brings some Uncharted vibes of discovery and exploration. Even so, on professional and simulation modes, I turn it off completely so that I can focus entirely on listening the navigator, but again, it would be awesome to have the full soundtrack in a future DLC. Looking forward to it.
Tight left on track. Danger 3, downhill.
Until this point, you've never heard me talk about the graphics, which I think are amazing for what the game represents, if we exclude the podium sections. But that's a discussion that I don't want and need to have, cause for me, the experience is above everything else, and the experience of driving into the unknown, trying to find my way through to the finish line, stage after stage, is what really matters and makes me come back to the game over and over.
On traces. Danger 2, dip, bump.
I definitely recommend Dakar Desert Rally for all off-road fans. It's easy to get in and extremely difficult to let it go, after you master the navigation side of things, obviously. That's the only caveat about the game, the thin line that separates the niche of Dakar enthusiasts from all other racing fans. If you're not up to the challenge, just don't bother trying and simply don't ruin the hype for others that are willing to give it a chance and find this concept truly singular. And all that upcoming content will bring endless racing and fun. Saber Porto has a ton of amazing other features and ideas on the table, It all depends on the reaction that the game will receive from players during the upcoming months. Let's make it big, so that we can continue to have rally raid off-road games and turn it into a trend in the gaming industry. If you've enjoyed this video, consider supporting the channel monetarily through Patreon at patreon.com/itsapixelthing or using the thanks button below. To keep up with what's going on with the channel, check all my social media stuff by clicking on the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next video. Cheers!